What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Memphis Conservative channel. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Hit that like button, share the video, and comment down below. So we all know about, the riots and protests and stuff that's going on out there in Minnesota, where Renee Good got shot, and that what's the guy named Alex? He got shot about a week so after she did. Okay, there was already information out about these groups called Ice Watch. Well, one of them is called Ice Watch, and they're funded by billionaires. And this one in particular billionaire, is George Soros. Okay. The mission for these Ice Watch groups and stuff, their mission is to actually, around America, to hunt down ICE agents and harass them, get in their way from the job that they're trying to do, agitate them and stuff like that. That's their mission. So when some people was saying, that a lot of these protests and stuff like that, these people are paid to be out there, like professional protesters. There is a such thing as that. But of course, like people like your local news, CNN, MSNBC, them, like, oh, well, that's not true. There's no evidence of that until now. So shout out to the Data Caller. They're one of the first ones that put this information out. It's called Minnesota Anti-ICE Activists Get $3.3 million from Soros-backed charity you've never heard of. Okay, so it's an article. I'm gonna read. I might not read all of it, but quite a bit of it. 16 activist groups mobilizing against immigration agents in Minnesota have one thing in common: financial support from a nonprofit backed by the Soros family's Open Society Foundation. The Minneapolis-based Headwaters Foundation for Justice awarded $3.3 million in funds and non-cash assistance since 2014 to groups that now seek to monitor immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, or protest the agency. According to a Daily Caller News Foundation analysis of tax filing activists, websites, and their social media posts. One related protest at the Minneapolis St. Paul airport led to around 100 arrests on January 23rd. And this is related to one of the radical groups that Renee Goods is a part of and are telling ICE all over America. Okay. Now, this is a scene at the Minneapolis airport as anti-ICE protesters chant with law enforcement standing guard.
Go get one, go home. Head down. Where's your family from?
Okay, you saw that. The Headwaters Foundation did not respond to multiple requests for comment from the DC NF. What we are seeing in these streets, Minneapolis and across Minnesota right now, is a fight for collective liberation in real time. The foundation said in Wednesday Instagram post announcing $120,000 in new grants. Other Headwaters Foundation grants from 2025 are listed on its website with unspecified dollar amounts. See, this kind of information right here, when you want to know some things other than what they tell you on the news or whether it's CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, it's important for people to do their own research on things. Because if you just go by what they tell you, you're not going to really actually know what's really true or what's really going on. That's why I said it's always important for you to go do your own research and look up things too. They're just like same thing, if you're at a church and the pastor preaching to you out the Bible, cool. Okay, but still, you also should want to go look in the Bible too, also yourself. and read it for yourself too as well. Your support of Headwaters will help us meet the ongoing need of funding or organizing on the ground, the Post said. Liberal from the nonprofits disclosed millions in donation to the Headwaters Foundation for more than a decade, including $300,000 in 2020 from Open Society Foundation, which George Soros created and his son now leads. The nonprofit did not respond to a request for comment. I'm sure they didn't. Ice Out marches. Several activist groups that coordinated Ice Out marches on January 23rd were funded by the Headwaters Foundation. How you say this? Minsna, Unidos, Minnesota, the Council on American Islamic Relations in Minnesota, communities organizing Latin power and action, and that's the abbreviation for that. Some of these names, I try, but Central D. I'm not going to even try that. Jewish Community Action, Voices for Radical. Not radical. Racial Justice, Minnesota Freedom Fund, and the LGBTQ groups, Out Front Minnesota, and Gender Justice. None of the organizations responded to the DCNL's request for comment. And this is supposed to be was on the on one of those websites. Join us today on the largest action to get ICE out of Minnesota. It's cold for those who are able to march. It starts at 2 p.m. For the remaining, come to the rally at the Target Center at 2 p.m. Here are the tickets. And this is what it's, and this is what's on their site. Ice Out Minnesota, Day of Truth and Freedom, January 23rd. We march at 2 p.m. coming downtown. Rally at 3 p.m. Target Center. Jewish Community Action board member Emma Kemplin was arrested at the MSP airport demonstration after the crowd blocked a roadway and violated conditions of their protest permit. According to police, Kemplin Ogman defended her actions in an OP declaring, "We cannot keep on with business as usual when our federal government is engaging in escalating state terror right here, right now." The Headwaters Foundation has given $183,000 to Jewish Community Action tax form show. CTUL told supporters in a post to call its worker defense hotline if an employee threatens you for taking the day off of work to participate in the January 23rd marches. The organization received $1 million, a little over $1 million, from the Headwaters Foundation tax filings show. Unidos, Minnesota, MN, formerly called Native MN, is also hosting an upcoming healthcare worker resistance training in February to teach medical employees how to protect patients during ICE searches. An Instagram post shows Unidos MN received $90,000, a little over $90,000 from the Headwaters Foundation. You see where all this right here is going? All of these different groups and organizations, this stuff is funded, heavily funded. Minnesota Freedom Fund's only Headwaters Foundation grant was for an unspecified amount. The fund also drew support in 2020 from former Vice President Kamala Harris. Oh, your girl. Who encouraged the public to donate to bail out alleged Black Lives Matter rioters. I remember that. Yep, I remember that. When they locked up a lot of those people that was so-called, the Black Lives Matter when the riots was going on. Yeah, she was supporting a foundation just like this right here said, drew support from her about getting them out of jail after they got locked up. But they want to get mad at Trump about letting them folks out for January 6th, though. But okay. The Headwaters Foundation also gave at least $25,000 to Metzner, $385,000 to the Greater Minnesota Worker Center, $10,000 to the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee, $171,000 to Voices for Racial Justice, and a little over $318,000 to Outfront Minnesota. Shit, I'm in the wrong business. COPAL. The Indigenous Protector Movement and MN8 formally released MN8 advocate for so-called observers to follow immigration officials in person. And this is on their site right here too. Salute, that's the name. Size, activity, location, uniform, time, and equipment. So I guess that's what salute means. All this right here. Size, how many people and or vehicles do you see? Activity, what specifically are they doing that's suspicious? Location, what address, cross streets or landmarks are they at? The more Pacific, the better. The more Pacific, the more, the more Pacific, the better. Uniforms, what are they wearing? Whether it's fatigues, nondescript, civilian clothes, or something else entirely. Time. What date and time did you observe them? What guns, for equipment, what guns, weapons, or devices do they appear to be carrying? Man, these folks got way too much time on their hands. MN8 and Coppola have a text chat and hotline that got exposed about a week or so ago. Respectively, that Minnesotans can use to summon observers during ICE encounters. An online constitutional observer handbook from COPAL, COPAL, tells readers to wear an identified badge and film agents, but avoid physically interfering with arrests. That's what they tell them, but they're not doing that. The Headwaters Foundation awarded $360,000 for MN8 through the years and $10,000 for COPAL in January 2026. As you demand the law enforcement present a signed judicial warrant, reads the handbook, while in many cases they aren't legally required to present the warrant. Persist in action. Gender Justice also invites viewers of its website to fill out a form for possible legal action if they have endured or witnessed gender-based mistreatment by immigration agents. The group has obtained reports of agents calling women slurs and body shaming people and misgendering trans women. No, that's shit again. Among other allegations, its legal director claimed in Thursday testimony to the Minnesota Senate. The Headwaters Foundation gave a little over $62,000 to Gender Justice. In the January 23rd Instagram post, the Indigenous Protector Movement asked supporters to send money for gas masks, goggles, legal observers, vests, and other items for demonstrators. Federal agents shot and killed a man this morning. This story was about a week ago. I'm just now getting around to it to do a video on it. Sorry about that. The Indigenous Protector Movement post said, referring protester Alex Predis' fatal scuffle with law enforcement in Minneapolis earlier that day, community defenders are on the streets right now. Supplies needed immediately. Other collaborator on the Instagram post was MN Ice Watch, Minnesota Ice Watch, which activist Renee Good was volunteering for when she was fatally shot by ICE agent on January 7th. The Indigenous Protector Movement did not respond to a request for comment. They ain't never got no damn comment to comment on anything. The Headwaters Foundation announced $10,000 in funding for the group in its Wednesday post, its first show of financial support. Minnesota Somali lobby. That's where all this stuff started at. In case you didn't, you hadn't been in the loop. They found a bunch of these Somalis with these daycares with no kids, and they've been getting funded. As a matter of fact, the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, he's in trouble, because he knew about it or he was getting kickbacks about it, the mayor of them and stuff too. The Headwaters funded groups Ayada Leagues, a Wood Center, and Care, Minnesota focused much of their advocacy in support of Somali migrants, a large Minnesota population targeted for deportation due to welfare fraud scandals. So you're protecting these people that's been stealing our tax dollars. Okay, got it. Cars Minnesota's Somali-born executive director attended multiple Minneapolis anti-ICE demonstrations over the past week. Footage shows the chapter received $140,000 from the Headwaters Foundation. Ayada Leagues, that's a name. Ayada Leagues also provides political campaign training and previously recruited Somali-born Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar. She's one of the main Congress that like the head of the snake of all this stuff. She's one of the Congress people that's out there in Minnesota. The lady that came from a few years ago, came from Somalia with nothing, but now she's worth close to what 30, 40, $50 million now. And she was worth that in what less than a year. Like I said, shit, I'm in the wrong business. Ilhan Omar of Minnesota to start running for public office. According to its website, Omar is a fierce critic of ISIS Minnesota operation and was regular to condemn violence against agents in a January 11th interview. Ayada Leagues and the World Centers did not respond to the DCNL's request for comments. The Headwaters Foundation awarded $280,000 to Ayada Leagues and $190,000 to the Wood Center. The Wood Center seeks to hire a new employee for anti-ICE rapid response. The DCNL previously reported its new rapid response program will help prevent unlawful or coercive detentions, among other goals, a job description says. Well, this is why. So all this right here is it's coming out now. All this, all this is coming out now. That the protests and stuff out there, them folks are paid to be out there. We call them professional protesters. And I got a partner that used to work with me. He moved out there in Minnesota last year, and he was saying when all this was going on, when it first started going on, he said, man, that weekend it was like -26 below zero. I said, I ain't nowhere in here. You can pay me enough to be out there protesting. Well, if anything out there like that in that cold, in that kind of cold. But how all this right here started, the thing is, if these people will stay out of ISIS way and let them come get who they're gonna come get, because they showed when Trump was live and Tom Holman was live, about a week or so ago, they were showing quite a few of the pictures of the other people that they was coming there to get. Violent criminals, rapists, all of that, illegals. But when people, they come to getting in ISIS's way, stopping them from doing their job, like the Renee Good lady. We saw the video how she parked her car sideways in the middle of the street, blocking them. You interfering with law enforcement, first of all. But if they would just stay out these folks' way, this stuff might run smooth. And the thing is, if y'all notice, when y'all been seeing them rides and stuff out there, how y'all notice y'all haven't seen not one Minnesota police out there? I'm talking about the actual police department. Because you know why? The governor and the mayor of them told them, do not go over there and help ICE and back them up in any kind of way. That's wrong for a government official to tell their police department that. Let's think about it. Right here in Memphis, our police assisted ICE and assisted the Memphis Task Force people that's here and stuff like that, National Guard, them. They was here for the same thing, to get, they had a list of illegals that they was looking for, and they was going to get. Why in Memphis it didn't pop off like this? Because our government officials allow our police department to work with them. Everything went smooth. It's like the only place that they did that at. They did it out there in Mississippi too, Arkansas, in other states. Why is it Minnesota is giving these folks a problem and telling their police department not to help these people, not to back these people up? Because if they were there to back them up, a lot of this stuff wouldn't even been going on. Same way with Illinois. The same thing. But I'll be glad though, when it's over. Don't get me wrong, the two people that got shot, Renee Good and what's his name, Alex Predit. I do feel bad, that they lost their life. But the thing is, you can't interfere with these people. You don't interfere with law enforcement, period. Just stay out the way. Simple. Let them folks do their job. Trump had already said what he was going to do before he got back in office. A mass deportation. Means he finna get these illegals up out of here. The ones they supposed to be here, get them up out of here. Whether they violent, the violent or the non-violent. If you over here illegal, you got to go. And what I don't understand, like I said, I did another video. You can go check it out. That was my first video. Then I did a second one, but this right here will be my third one. Just trying to grow the channel, get it up off the ground a little bit. But my first video, when I showed that what was the difference between Trump deporting now versus when Obama was deporting. Obama actually gave CNN, granted them access for a ride along with the ICE agents to round up the illegals, to arrest them, and some without due process. And on top of that, they accidentally arrested by 4, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I go back and look it up, but at least 4 Americans by mistake. So when he was doing it, no judges jumped in to block him like they do Trump. No rioters, no protests, none of that. Everything went smooth. And he deported way more people than Trump did. Matter of fact, his nickname was what? The deporting chief. I even showed a clip where Obama, Clinton, Bush son, or even Biden, when Biden was in the Senate, when Biden was a senator, all of them said the same thing. We got to do something about the immigration. We got to get them up out of here, and we got to have secure borders. So what's different now that Trump is doing? We'll get there. But yeah, hit that like button for me, and subscribe to the video, and comment down below and share the video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.